flowers.
Far out. Where do you get tropical flowers in Santa Fe, New Mexico?
I got them at Trader Joe's.
I was going to say, in the middle of the desert.
Right.
I like your headwear.
My get up. Oh, sorry. Which way do I need to go?
Here, let me expand this.
Okay.
Let me expand it like that.
Okay.
How's that? Much better.
Okay.
Let's see. We started, and I don't think we've connected yet. Hang on. Let me see. Yeah, there's 7 people coming in. So, wow. Lots going on since the last time I saw you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. A whole lot, huh?
It's only been, it's only been what? It's only been 35 days.
Yeah.
Did you go to the chocolate tree? I don't remember anything.
No, I didn't get to because my friend was having a birthday party and I was cooking and helping.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So the last time I saw you was on the 30th, 35 days ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So how's it been going for 35 days since the Soulogy Fest? What's been going on with you? Everything been calm and smooth and no bumps in the road, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually. Mostly the bumps in the road are internal and they're not even bumps. They're just things that I'm paying attention to, my inner dialogue, my outer dialogue, how I'm talking to myself, how I'm talking to other people, which thoughts are true, which are not.
Right. So, yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine who had an incredible experience, and I didn't mention it to them, but they were talking about something that happened that was extremely 3D, and a very, very, I guess in the old paradigm, a very traumatic experience for anyone. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about the experience, in detail and the all the different energies that were present. And they were very 100% telepathic in that moment. They were very aware of what was happening from the higher perspective. Mm-hmm. But I didn't mention it to them, but it sounded to me like something I went through the other day on somebody else's show, where I split like 5 or 6 times during the show. And as you were talking about the inner dialogue and the outer dialogue, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of the story my friend was telling me, because it's I've had experiences where the higher self is like looking down at the human self, not from a hierarchical, meaning, but just like an observer. But what I experienced the other day was where both were equally present, and I was trying to figure out where to plug in. You know what I mean? I'm having a conversation like this, yet I'm split, and I couldn't find my voice in between. It was really weird. It was a split. That's the only way I can describe it.
You needed a splitter so you could plug into both.
Exactly, right? And maybe that's what's happening. Maybe that's what we're doing. I don't know. Yeah. But
sorry, you go first.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think that the mind that's, still playing with illusion a little bit sees them as separate, but I think that's a life's journey to merge the two and hopefully maybe reach some point where we're not under the illusion that there's a separateness. Our linear mind compartmentalizes everything. Oh, this is my ego, and this is my inner child, and this is my multidimensional self, and this is my, highest self, and this is my soul, and this is but we're all of it, happening simultaneously.
Yeah, like one voice, one unified voice.
Yeah, unity consciousness within and without. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this whole thing of it's never them, it's always me, which sounds like a very personal thing that only involves the human mirrors in our experience, but it really doesn't. It's if you just take the human out of it and look at the energy of each and every interaction and situation, There is this merging obviously happening, but there's still this perpetuation of that's out there and I'm in here. That's separate from me. But it's like I just keep coming back to the only separation possible comes from me. And nobody has any say so in that. I mean, they can try, but that reality is just creeping in more and more and more. And which is strange because I guess it leads us to being effective, conscious, responsible creators. But it takes a little getting used to. At least it has been for me.
Yeah. You know, I've been hearing you say that a lot lately about it's never someone else, it's always me. And I've been using that teaching in a lot of moments. And it's amazing when you just own that, when you own, and it's not about letting the false operating system of the ego come in and beat you up. It's like, okay, I feel friction, I feel uncomfortable. How can I, rearrange my energy in this moment and feel safe enough to take that responsibility on? And then maybe you have to say something if you're with another person, or maybe just the subtlety of the fact that you have rearranged and there isn't a dialogue that needs to take place, and everybody softens, and it's a way that you love yourself, and it's a way that you honor and respect the person you're interacting with, and I've taken ownership of some things recently, and it feels really good. I have a ass on the platter moment to share. Yesterday, I got so triggered. There's maybe only one thing that I can think about 4th of July that I can appreciate, and I had to look hard to find that, and that is other people's joy. But I don't like the fireworks. I don't like the fact that birds get scared and die, dogs get lost and run away and get hit by cars. My cat was shaking like a leaf under the bed for hours and hours. I know that there's veterans that have PTSD that suffer all day long from fireworks. And, I basically think the whole thing is a crock anyway. I think it's illusory, like, oh, freedom and independence, from what, but so poor Julia Dara Roberts, and I sent her an apology. If you're watching this, Julie, this is for you. But she posted she was having a good time, and she posted it, fireworks, and I was like, yeah, but what about the birds that are dying, and the cats and the dogs and the veterans with PTSD and blah 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 blah. And she didn't block me. She didn't have a angry retort. She just removed the comment, which was very graceful. And I apologized to her behind the scenes in Messenger, and I just said, that choice does not reflect my honor and respect for you, and I apologize, and I take full responsibility for that.
God.
And then I realized, like, oh, that's the moment when I'm a sun and I'm having a solar flare.
Well, there's a lot to be said for that. I don't know all the scientific aspects of what I've been picking up the last 3 or 4 days. We've had solar flares that have not been this powerful since 2017 from the let's just say the mainstream scientific community. So obviously there's some uniformity there in what people talk about in some of these communities in terms of the formation of the celestial objects to the Schumann resonance to the solar flare CME, all that. So there's been a lot of stuff going on. No doubt. I mean, everything I've come across in the last few days when I'm sharing posts to the group, It's very much there. People are experiencing it one way or the other. But yeah, getting back to what you were saying, I love the story because this is one of the things that's been really coming into my field is there's never a wrong choice. You make a choice. And let's just use your example. You made a choice. You spoke your mind, which is another thing you're seeing a lot of people do, which I think is very encouraging, because even if it's a shadowed expression, at least we're starting to really stand on our feet without really pointing the finger. You weren't pointing the finger at anybody. You were just saying, what about this and what about that? But to take it further, we make a choice. There really is no wrong choice. But what we find ourselves is in front of a new choice. Our choice is, and you made the choice, which I think is so important, to go back and say what you said, because we can do that. And it's not about I told you so. It's not about that, but even having I'm going to say it, the courage to go in and say I'm sorry. It's not just you, it's me, or it's all me. I mean, and because we don't want to do that, but we haven't wanted to do that because we don't want to have egg thrown on our face or have it thrown in our face. But the reality is that's no different than anything else. It's not them. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it for me from a higher vantage point. I just made a choice. I'm thinking twice about it. Now I'm going to do something else to bring myself back into further alignment. However that's received isn't the priority. It's not about what people think.
Yeah. It's it's a way to love and honor yourself and love and honor other people, and it's pretty simple. Luckily, one of my battles in life has not been to say I'm wrong, or I was wrong, or I don't feel good with that choice, or I'm sorry. But what I'm looking for in my refinement and softening is less times I have to do that, because I don't want to do it, because I don't want to make those choices in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I have a bunch of offerings today.
Yeah. What do you got?
Since Soulogy Fest, my creativity has been off the charts.
Wow.
To answer your question, what do I have? And then I'll come back to what I was saying. What do I have? I have a prayer and a song and a couple of poems.
Cool.
And a guided meditation that came to me that's really yummy. And it's not one of those where it's like, oh, let's go somewhere outside of our body and have a good time and then have to come back and ground. It's like it's a really yummy, delicious meditation. You're very grounded in your body and simultaneously very expanded. It's like a little mini vacation, but a vacation in which you're very present. Far out.
Well, you want to get started with them? Let's start with a song or a poem.
Sure. And then I want to give a shout out to Mother Earth today. I want to give a shout out to Gigi Young today. I'll do it a little later. And then I have a question for you about the Soulogy platform and its expansion and how that might work too. So those are just, I'm sort of giving you I guess it's a laundry list, but yeah, those are the things that are.
Go for it. Start wherever you want to start. You want to start with what you just talked about, or you want to start with whatever? It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. I'll start with a prayer. I think it's nice to open with a prayer. I came across this the other day. I had completely forgotten about it. And I wrote it, I guess, I wrote it on April 15th, 2018. And it's called A Prayer for Every Day. May my being, and anybody whose heart opens up to this, this isn't just my prayer. You can take this into your heart and it can be your prayer too, if you so desire. A prayer for every day. May my being be sweetly held in the fulcrum of the axis of polarity. May all illusory notions of duality return to the void from whence they came. To the divine cosmos, I give all my thoughts to be dissipated like clouds in the sky. Divine Father, I give you my beliefs that you may transform them into love to be returned to me. Divine Mother, I give you my emotions that you may transform them to love to be returned to me. Sacred Body, may your energy centers of trust, faith, power and diligence, compassion, courage, patience, and gratitude be attuned, that your energy may be flowing, vital, centered, grounded, and balanced. Sacred Mind, may you rest in peace and know that you already are that which you seek. Heaven is within. You are the universe, and the universe is you. May you always feel safe. Sacred Body, thank you for being the vehicle of my spirit and allowing me to have this journey of awakening. I honor, appreciate, and love you. Sacred Spirit, guide me always towards the light and envelop me in love, that I may be an instrument of peace and awakening for all that walk this earth. Thank you. I honor you and I respect your power. Today, I strive to be grateful, loving, kind, and patient with myself and others. Today, I shall live moment by moment, and I will let my breath be my guide, which always leads me back to the present. Breathing in, breathing out. Thank you, Cosmos. Thank you, Divine Mother and Father. Thank you, body, mind, and spirit. Thank you, breath. This life is a gift, and it is all I could ever have asked for. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Wayne Smith says, can I get this prayer? My birthday is April 14th. Feels like it was written for me.
Oh, yes. Wayne, if you send me a message on Facebook to Julie Pershin and give me your email, I will get it to you.
Right on. And that's how it happens. These synchronicities are far beyond numbers now.
Right.
You know, they're happening in so many different ways, and you can say it's a coincidence, but it's really not.
No.
The way we're reaching each other, the way we're weaving the grid, the new grid. Yeah.
Hey, I have two. Okay, I have to tell you something. There was a woman named Yana that I met for the first time in Sedona who was hosting me while I was there. And she and my friend have been friends for 30 years. And her presence is very angelic. Her home feels like an angelic realm. And she asked Mari and I before we returned to Santa Fe, if we would want to host the Archangels for 5 days. And, you know, my mind at first was like, well, whatever. It had all these questions, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to open up to it. After they left, it's like the floodgates were open with creativity. Very interesting.
Wow.
So I have two poems. One is The Golden Child and one is The Flower of Life. Which one you want to hear first?
Golden Child.
Okay. So this poem was inspired by you and Morgan and the people in the Soulogy tribe who have been speaking about the Golden Child. And it also, you know, I don't know when it was. It could have been a few years ago. I thought, you know, I've never gone outside. I mean, I may have, you know, I've spoken to the moon a few times. I've spoken to the sun, but in general, throughout the whole of my life, I don't stand outside and speak to the planets. It's not, it just never was in my mind stream to do that. And one night, maybe a year or two ago, it was in my heart to do that. And I thought, gosh, you know, we use them for spiritual teachings. We use them for all sorts of navigation. And how many people are sharing their gratitude and expressing their gratitude to them and for them, you know? And it just felt so good and so right when I did it. And I've been having lots of planetary experiences in these past couple of years. I think I may have told you at Soulogy Fest, or maybe I didn't, but a couple of years ago, I saw the moon running all over the sky from east to west, and then from north to south for about 3 minutes, and then from east to west. Like,
now, was this third eye or was it visual?
This was eyes open 3D
Wow.
experience, and it was running all over the sky, traveling really you know, great distances in a small period of time. And it really opened me up. Well, I didn't want to be the only one to witness it, so I called two friends and I said, hey, go outside. It was late, but I didn't care. I had no shame. I'm just like, I'm calling these people. I have to have like two people that have also seen it, you know. One was a man, one was a woman. And they saw it. And it really opened my mind, you know. It really expanded my mind, because I thought, wow, there's so many things that I believe or have been taught that really just aren't true. And to see a planet running all over the sky like that
That's crazy.
such a gift.
So when did this happen? Do you remember?
1.5 years ago. I didn't mark the date. So,
Well, the reason I say that is because, and I'm not saying, you know, I'm just providing information, everybody discern for themselves, but
oh yeah,
I remember distinctly, and I believe it was January 20th, give or take, Franco Di Nicola's, you know, his
yeah, I heard that.
forecast. That was when the inverted matrix stopped projecting, and the projector for the inverted matrix was the moon. And that the moon would, instead of projecting the inverted 3D, was that was the point when it was providing a different role, which was it was actually amplifying the new energy. So I wonder if it was on or around the same time. It sounds like
before that, way before that.
Oh, way before that, because that was a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay. You said January, so I didn't.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, it was January 2020. January 2020. So it was about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So I wonder if there's some kind of connection, but I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Interesting. Yeah. So that was one planetary experience. And then, you know, in this past year, I've been spending more time with the sun and looking at the sun. And I think I said this the first time we talked, that, you know, I see mandalas and geometric patterns and all sorts of colors, deep magentas, reds, orange, blues, yellow, like just all sorts of colors. And some colors that I don't see with my eyes open, like I'll know, oh, that's in the orange range or the red range, but I haven't seen that particular shade in my, you know, with my eyes open. So there's that. And then when Alan Steinfeld had guided us through a remote viewing meditation, and then he said, now go anywhere you want to go in the cosmos. And I didn't make a choice with my mind. I just said, you know, let your heart lead the way, because it knows where it wants to go. Well, I ended up on Venus, and these beautiful, I wouldn't say purple, maybe like violet or some shade of purple, and very translucent beings. We all stood in a circle together, and they handed me a violet sphere with the Sri Yantra symbol in it. And that symbol is it's in a way, it kind of looks like a triangular flower of life. It's got the 9 triangles pointing upwards and the 9 pointing down, and they meet in the middle. And it's a symbol of the merging of the divine masculine and divine feminine. And it's also, it's the seed for the creation of life, right? So
Right.
it's very akin to the flower of life symbol. But oh, just a minute. I think my cat is outside. Can I let him in real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
absolutely.
JJ. Come on, kitty. Okay, JJ, come on. Thanks, Todd.
Yeah.
So that was right after Pamela Johnson spoke.
When the Black Hawk helicopters came.
Right. And then right after that, the triplets and I went into the teepee and had a rebirthing experience that was out of this world.
Yeah.
So the moon, the sun, Venus, and Mars. Now, I don't remember the date on this either, but I was looking at Mars one night and I kept having to do double takes. And I stood there for what must have been, I don't know, felt like 15 minutes. And it showed me 2 signs. They were symbols, rune, R-U-N-E, rune symbols. And one was gift and one was protection. And then, recently I've been listening to a lot of Gigi Young, and it's not like, oh, a whole new set of somebody else's ideas that I can adopt. It's beyond that. It's really deep. It's really deep stuff. Like, I feel like not only has she dedicated, sorry. She's done many, many videos.
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't have a reference point for what I'm talking about. But her more recent videos are all about cosmology.
Yeah.
And she is one of the best cosmologists I've ever run into.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's a lifelong pursuit. And I feel like there's a lot of past life pursuits too. It's this unfolding, and she seems like somebody, like if Edward Casey and Rudolf Steiner were alive today, like you could see them hanging out at the coffee shop or something.
Yeah. I have, I do spend quite a bit of time every day researching and checking in on different platforms. She's one of them. I think I told you this. I haven't been able to watch an entire episode because most of hers run about 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And but I do, skim through it, and I do have an understanding too of her older stuff. Even other people's are like this too. It's interesting to see
the progression.
How, I don't want to say how their message changes. It's not really that type of change. It's more of an evolution.
Yes.
And one of the things that I've been able to do, I guess, is kind of go back into that both the linear time that it happened, but also it's a different timeline. So it's like shown me, like, even and actually her work has been kind of a paramount in a couple of other platforms, because I'll be like, okay, well, they were saying this 2 years ago and it didn't happen, or so you got that whole thing going on. But I do notice that, or more than anything, it's always about the intention. And you're right, she's very much anchored into what she's doing. And that itself speaks a lot. Yeah. So yeah, I'd love to get her on the show, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I'll reach out to her. So, amongst seeing all this planetary stuff, communicating with the planets, listening to Gigi, thinking about having the golden child in my stream of consciousness, and remembering that, the spheres aren't something out there.
Right.
Right. We're looking at aspects of ourselves. We're looking at aspects of the Earth's history, in the past and in the future. And just it's coalescing for me, and it's coalescing inside me.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that was the inspiration behind the golden child.
Right on. That's the Golden Child poem. Golden Child poem. Yeah, I was talking to James Greenshield yesterday. We did a show yesterday,
That was powerful.
yeah. And do you remember I was asking him because he was talking about something? I said, "Is there a correlation between that and the stars and the celestial bodies?" I know what we were talking about. We were talking about Joseph Campbell's work, Power of Myth, The Hero's Journey, and of course the archetypal basis of all that. Which is, and I said, is that, to your knowledge, is that found in the stars as well, in the constellations? Yes. Yeah, there's some type of something going on there in terms of what is inside of us, and what we see. Like you saw the moon, moving all over the place. That was happening in you. Were your friends, by the way, were they able to see it too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's like mind blowing.
I mean, I knew it was really happening. I knew I wasn't just making it up in my mind, but I still wanted validation. I'm like, not validation like, is this really happening? But validation in that, like, see, they saw it too. That kind
Wow.
of
See, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Right on. So the Golden Child.
Yeah, the Golden Child. Oh, and I want you to know that for poems like this, I decided, because I can be very rhymey. I love rhymes, and so I have dubbed myself the cosmic female Dr. Seuss of the 21st century.
Do it.
Okay. Alrighty. The sun and earth made a golden child. All the aunties and uncles gazed upon the child and smiled. Pluto exclaimed, all the deep dives were not in vain. Uranus chimed in too. He said, in a flash of lightning, we are born anew. Mercury said, copulation is a sacred form of communication. This child shall be a catalyst for great transformation. Mars in the past may have been jealous, but since he'd embraced his divine masculine, his proclamation was quite zealous. I love you, I love you, I love you, he said. I'd like to make one with Venus. Venus was beside herself. She could barely utter a word. She knew from love this child was born. Her prayers had been heard. Neptune knew the sun and earth had faced their shadows to make their dreams come true. They dove deep in illusory waters, went beyond and found the truth. Neptune, with great emotion, presented a gift as deep as the ocean. It was the gift of great compassion. The galaxy shimmied and sparkled with elation. To witness the gift bestowed upon the child brought great exaltation. Jupiter was next in line to speak to the child divine. Precious child, he said, as long as you live, you'll always have my loyalty, for you are a being of sovereignty and royalty. The golden child sat peacefully, taking it all in. The newly born planet felt deeply loved by its cosmic kin. As the heavens awaited to hear from Saturn, they wondered if he might resort to his old patterns. When at last he spoke, everyone sighed a sigh of great relief, and all who heard his message nodded in belief. To my beloved sun and earth, and to this miracle of birth, such a child could only be born of mastery. I say this without flattery. You've truly done your work. You've climbed the highest mountains. In the valleys you did weep. You've walked through inner plains whose wisdom you did reap. You've walked through darkness. You've seen the light and everything in between. You stayed the course. You loved yourself. Your inner light you've seen. You took your journeys separately before you came together. This is why you've made it through every kind of weather. The child you have created has left us all elated. Now there will be peace. Your child's destiny is blessed. We bow to you with gratitude for giving us your best.
Epic. That was epic. No doubt. Right? I mean, it does have a little Dr. Seuss kind of rhythm to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun to personify the planets, you know.
Yeah, I like that. That was very cool. Yeah, I like had this thought that, you know, they talk about how you look at a star, and because of the speed of light and how far it is away, that it could be burned out or imploded in this present moment, but we're still seeing it because of how long it takes. And I thought about that. I thought, I wonder if that's how it all started. You know, like the Big Bang happens. You know, Mother Universe takes a breath out, and it all starts. And that what we're looking at is our history. It just keeps getting more and more multifaceted. And I've always felt like, you know, people talk about that and they could be right. I mean, I don't know. It's not about right. I just, my thoughts that have a point. And so I've always looked at the galactic part being our most the nearest past, not the future. Because a lot of people talk about it's the future, and it could be right. I'm just saying it feels like if I'm everything and we're everything that we know and don't know, everything that comes into our field, it would only make sense to me that we're the newest, right? And so I wonder sometimes, you know, when I look at the stars, like I have a kind of an affinity for Aldebaran, which is the Eye of Taurus, and I plug into that many times, like you did. You know, you were talking about, and I pick up a little information here and there, but nothing, you know, major that I would like, you know, say this is the gospel. But I just look at that and I think there's got to be something to it. The cosmology that you brought up, Julie does that. There's astrotheology. You know, you look at Blavatsky and Jordan Maxwell talks about it. Yeah, there's got to be some type. And then if you look at the story of Jesus in the Immaculate Conception and so on, these same things were found in previous, you know, like Horus and Zoroaster. I mean, so yeah, there's got to be something going on there.
I really like the work of Santos Bonacci too, but there's probably like 2 videos that I like that are my favorite, where it's the quintessential and he said it all, and I don't need to listen to the rest because it's all like, it's very succinct in those or 1 or 2 videos. And Gigi Young one of them is I think it's called Soul or something. Maybe it's Solar Consciousness, but she talks a lot about Jesus in that one. It's really good. I mean, her stuff just turns me on, man. It gets me going. And Julie, I love to listen to Julie Dara Roberts talk about cosmology. And I also respect what she said the last time you guys were on. Is like, well, I don't really want to go listen to somebody else's idea of how it is or what it is, because I want my own personal relationship, and I want to glean the information that pertains to me, you know? And then she shares that information, and we filter it through our own experience and knowing or openness to learning something new. And then, you know, what resonates. It's the same with Gigi, you know, but there's not much where, you know, my internal bullshit radar is like, no, definitely not that, you know, like it's I'm very resonant with it.
Yeah. I think more and more people are reading less. Not that that's the right way to do anything. It's not about that, but I think, you know, more people are reading less. More people are saying, I'm relying on my own relationship with infinite intelligence. So there's something to be said for that. And there's also something to be said for what is put before you, you know, in the external as part of that communication. Right?
Yeah.
Because I notice that happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
And especially as time goes on, it's like, this is not a mistake. I mean, I'm watching a movie last night. I can barely sit through movies, but, you know, I'll watch a little bit, come back to it. But this one was metaphysical, had to do with time travel. And I got to the end of the movie because it was one of those movies where you really don't know what's going to happen till the end. Right. And there was all these attributes. There was divine union. There was what is God, what is heaven, what is hell. I mean, there's all these different attributes. And when I got to the end, I realized that the reason I sat in front of this movie was because of time travel. And then I went to bed, and then I kind of threw that into the field, and then I had a little bit of experience, with it. So yeah, I mean, there's a reason things get put before us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Is there an alternative way to reach Julie outside of Facebook?
Oh, okay. So I'll say it and then spell it, but it's my email is all one word: red lotus blue Buddha. So red like the color, lotus like the flower, blue like the color, and Buddha like Buddha.
Is
And
it .com or .org?
at yahoo.com. It's an email, not a
I'm
website.
sorry. At Yahoo. I'm going to put it on all the platforms. At yahoo.com. Boom. There you go.
Yeah. And sometimes people forget the H in Buddha. So it's Buddha. That's how you spell Buddha. So red lotus blue Buddha at yahoo.com.
Baba Black Sheep says, now that I think of it, I had the same experience after watching the movie Lucy. I've watched that several times, and that's interesting because it's like so much of what comes through isn't like in words. It's just like some of these things they just open code. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
So you got one on the Flower of Life.
Yeah. So there's a woman, when I was still doing Chinese medicine, we worked at the same clinic. She's amazing, man. She's so amazing. And she really has a way with plants. And so she was announcing recently that she is moving out of Santa Fe. And she talked about how people love to talk about, blooming and evolving, but that there's so many stages of a plant's life, and that we rarely are paying homage to the part where it bolts and goes to seed. That's what bolting is, right? It's like, okay, I've given you all the basil I'm going to give you this summer. Now I'm going to shoot up, now I'm going to bolt, and you can take the seeds and plant some basil next year, right? And that was a huge transmission for me, it really, because how many times, in a day or a month or a week or a year or a lifetime do we go through that whole cycle, of seeding and sprouting and blooming and bolting and going back to seed. And, it's the same as the seasons. There's something to be gleaned. There's riches in every season, right? And so that planted a seed in me to write this poem. The Flower of Life. I am the seed. It's more Dr. Seussy again. So here you go. I am the seed that grows a sprout, a flower that blooms from the inside out. The flower it bolts and goes to seed. The seed it begins to sprout. The sprout grows and grows. The bud forms on the vine. What you call death is life in the making, seen through the lens of illusory time. The bud it blossoms, and the flower it blooms, and then goes back to seed. This is the story of you, and this is the story of me. This is the story of we. From death, we are ever free. We don't die. We simply re-seed. We seed, we grow, we sprout. From under the soil, we come out. The flower it blooms, and then it bolts, and the seed is planted again. Life goes on and on. It never really ends. How you respond to wind is the way your tree will bend. You bloom differently in every incarnation as your soul grows and grows. You may be a daisy one time, the next time a rose. Born from the mud like a lotus, from the seeds you have sown. Your heart is the jewel in the lotus, your forever home. Dance your dance with great delight. Be thankful for the rain. The sun will shine upon your face, and you will bloom again.
Mm. You do have that Dr. Seuss rhythm. Oh, how I love green eggs and ham. Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. It's like that, you
Yeah.
know.
You know,
Very cool.
I often say that my first book on spirituality was a book by Dr. Seuss, and it's one of his. I think it should be his most popular, but it's more obscure. Not a lot of people know about it. It's called "Did I Ever Tell You How Lucky You Are?"
No,
And
I never saw that.
I ordered it from a local bookstore, hoping I could read it to you today, but it didn't get here, so perhaps another time. But yeah, it's really great. Did I ever tell you how lucky you are? If there's anybody watching with kids, I highly recommend it. And if there's anybody watching who is a kid, I highly recommend it. And it's really fun to read. Your tongue is just like, oh, this is great. So it's a fun book. Did I ever tell you how lucky you are by Dr. Seuss?
Yeah, I just found it.
Oh yeah, it's cool. See that the little guru with the mala beads sitting on top of the cactus?
Let me see.
And then
Oh, yeah.
another cactus. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm telling you, Ducky, you're really quite lucky. Some people are much more unlucky than you. That's a little piece from it.
oh, I see it. Yeah. When you think things are bad, when you feel sour and blue, when you start to get mad, you should do what I do. Just tell yourself, Ducky, you're really quite. Can't see the rest of it.
Really
Looks good.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I never knew. To be honest with you, I didn't know he made books like that.
Yeah.
I thought they were all the ones I'm familiar with.
Oh, and if you, I would buy that book, man. There's transmissions in it. I swear. I realize now that Dr. Seuss, like there's this one page in the book where he's talking about a teacher who's teaching ducks how to read Javanese, and they're writing all these letters on the wall, but not like A, B, C, D. They don't even look like, well, they look like script, but not a script you've ever seen. And it hit me the other day, and I was like, that script in Dr. Seuss is light language. If anybody looks at that page in that book, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about when they get there. So amazing.
Far out.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
And you got a song?
Yeah.
I want to hear the song.
Okay.
Do you dance with the song, or is it just a song?
It's just a song. And I don't have a guitar or anything. Not that I even play guitar, so it's just a cappella.
Yeah, that's cool.
Let me tune in for a second. My heart is full, my spirit is whole. I can feel it in my soul. My heart is full, my spirit is whole. I can feel it in my soul. Oh, why do I forget the word? I get like I guess stage fright or something. Let me think for a minute. My heart is full, my spirit is whole. I can feel it in my soul. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm blanking out. I've been singing this for days. It's like my mantra.
It's okay.
Give me a second.
We're good. No rush.
My DNA is rearranging. My intellect needs no explaining. My cells are emitting rainbow light. My mind is expanded. It's not tight. My heart is open to receiving. It's got nothing to do with thinking or believing. My heart is full, my spirit is whole. I can feel it in my soul. My heart is full, my spirit is whole. I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my soul. Oh, feel it in my soul.
That was beautiful.
Oh, I'm glad.
That was very cool. I really liked that. I like that one at the end. I in my soul, aho.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was very cool. Far out. Man,
Yeah.
you've been busy for 30
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. It just comes, you know?
So you had a couple of things you wanted to bring up too. You mentioned I can't remember both of them. You
Mother Earth.
mentioned Mother Earth, yeah, and then the platform, something about the platform,
Yeah.
and then something. There was something else too, I think.
Oh, a guided meditation. Maybe we
Yeah,
could,
yeah, yeah.
maybe we'll save that for the end.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, you want to talk Mother Earth first or
Yeah.
Soulogy platform?
Oh, whatever. It's up to you.
Okay. Um, you know, I can't speak for anybody else, but I bet some people can relate that I'm willing to bet that most people on this platform care deeply about Mother Earth and uh see her as a part of themselves and see ourselves as an extension of her. And there's a lot of dialogue going on all over the earth right now about the earth, and some of it we may resonate with and some of it we may not. I personally, when I look at my life or how I live or how I eat or how I drive or how I consume or what I choose to consume, or just I think about all of that, my impact on the earth, or the ways that I give back, or whatever it is. um and I know Franco said recently, and I respect that. It's like, hey, don't buy into freaking out about it too much, because she can really take care of herself. And you're really not making it harder on her, you're making it harder on you to be able to live here. And so, whatever the case, if she can take care of herself, if she can't, well, she can. We're not going to take that away from her. But to me, it's like, I'm not just going to be like, hey, I'm going to throw this can out the window because Mother Earth will take care of herself, or I'm going to consume whatever the heck I want and however much I want because Mother can take care of herself, or I'm going to throw this in the garbage even though it could go in the recycling because Mother can take care of herself. So, I mean, I've thought deep and hard about this lately, and I'm like, wow, like, how deep do I want to care? Like, am I willing to rework and reshape and revamp my whole life as a deep prayer of care? Like, how far do I want to take this? And I'm not going to say that I'm perfect and I'm the most environmentally friendly person you'll ever meet. I can say that I grew up on 23 acres of pristine temperate rainforest on the Oregon coast that embedded in my soul a deep reverence for my mother, you know. And so I'm just going to share some things, and maybe the things I'm going to share everybody's already doing, or maybe somebody will get new ideas, but I'm just going to step out on a limb and share some thoughts and ideas. So I started thinking about things that everybody does. Like, we all wash our clothes. And so what are we washing our clothes with? Like, do we have a family size jug of Tide, in a plastic bottle that we may throw away, or we may recycle? And by the way, where is all this plastic getting recycled? I mean, we used to give it to China and they used to deal with it, and they're like, sorry, we don't need any more of your plastic. So nobody really knows exactly what's going on with plastic right now. And then, I was thinking about this morning. Che wants to check out what's in the closet. So, it's such a huge assault to me personally when I go outside, and maybe it's been raining and I'm so excited to step outside and smell petrichor. Petrichor, it's that smell of what it smells like after it rains. Or I might step outside for any reason, and instead of smelling nature, I smell somebody's dryer sheets, or I smell their laundry detergent, and people are, maybe not people in here, but lots of people are like spraying their house and their furniture with Febreze, or they're plugging in like Glade scent into their wall and totally toxing themselves out, instead of diffusing some essential oil or just keeping a clean house so there are no odors to cover up. And so I think about these type of things, and recently I was at my friend's house and he showed me that he started using these. They're called soap berries. Soap, SOAP. They're called soap berries, and they grow on trees. And they, you put 6 of them. You put 6 of them in a little bag like this that comes with this, and you throw it in your wash, and it gets sudsy. I mean, it's instead of detergent. Like, I don't have to pour powder into the water anymore. I don't have to pour anything into the water, liquid, powder, or otherwise. This is it. And then I guess if you're like worried about, well, but what if there's a smell in my clothes and I still want to get them out? I mean, these are effective, or I want to soften my clothes. White vinegar and baking soda can do the trick with that. We don't need to buy all this crap in all this packaging. So the nuts look like this. Oops.
Hang on. Let me make it bigger.
The nuts look like this. So you put 6 of these in this little bag, and those 6 will last 6 times. So this is a pound of soap berries. I mean, it's going to last you forever. And it's like, I don't know. These are my friends because I'm waiting for mine in the mail. But I ordered some recently and they were $10, and it's probably a pound like this. It's going to last a long time.
Yeah,
So,
somebody just said that they have it in the UK.
cool.
And it's, I can't get is this it? Oh.
So, it saves money. It's easier on the water elementals. It's great because then we're not polluting the air with all these, funky chemical smells. And I just wanted to share it in case anybody is open and wants to try it. The other thing.
Yeah, there's a brand in the UK called Living Naturally, just so everybody knows.
If you Google soap berries or, soap berries for laundry, you'll 100 things will pop up that you can order from.
Right on.
But please don't order from Amazon. That's another thing. Amazon is their carbon footprint is really heavy, because they're doing all these single deliveries. So then you have to think about all the gas, the oil, the tire tread, the road wear, the carbon emissions, right? And I'm sure lots of us are well versed on the many, many, many reasons we should not give our money to Amazon. So here's a jar of lemons, and they're soaking in vinegar. And after about 2 weeks, this will be just as strong as any sort of like degreaser or lime away or any product you might use to get if you have hard water where you live, you might have like lime scale in your shower or bathtub. And that is really hard to get off of there. And so we often go buy these chemicals that are so freaking caustic and toxic. Remember the straight line conversation from the mushroom trip where all the lines went straight, the dry cleaner story. So, yeah, you can, I drink lemon juice every morning. So I just cut them in half, squeeze them, and throw them in this jar with the vinegar already in it. So I'm reusing the lemons, and I'm not using a bunch of toxic chemicals,
Yeah. Can you use that for just general cleaning too, or just for the hard scrubs?
You can. For general cleaning, I usually make a solution of 1/3 vinegar, 2/3 water, 5 drops of soap, environmentally friendly soap. And then if you're like, well, I really don't like the smell of vinegar, you could throw an essential oil, maybe you like lemon, maybe you like peppermint, jasmine, whatever you want to put in there. So that's another thing is you might have a spray bottle. Maybe you went and bought some Miss Myers spray or whatever you bought, and now it's empty. Are you going to throw that away? Are you going to reuse it? you can not buy any more products. You can just make your own with tap water and vinegar, a few drops
Right
of,
on.
you know. Another thing that we do that's really hard on the earth is throw away food. And it emits a lot of methane gas. You know, I tracked down a fact on my phone about this, and it's so mind-blowing. I want to go get my phone so I can read it to you. Can I go do that?
Go ahead and do that.
Yeah, okay.
We receive vinegar oranges, but they are sliced. Is it edible? I would imagine. Vinegar's not going to hurt you. Let's see. Amazon is run by demons. That's all right. We got you. We got another show in 2 hours with Fiona Carthu from Australia. She's always interesting.
Fiona, I'll be sure and have a listen. Okay, I copied it. Let me find it. This is astounding. I mean, this, considering how many people go without food, or how many people are starving every day, or how many people are going to bed on an empty stomach. I mean, this just makes your heart crack open. I copied several things to share, so I'm just like looking for the correct one. Each year, I hope everybody's sitting down. Each year, 108 billion, not million, not trillion, not billion, I mean billion. Each year, 108 billion pounds of food is wasted in the United States. That equates to more than $161 billion worth of food thrown away each year. Shockingly, nearly 40% of all food in America is wasted. That leaves me speechless. And naturally, it's, you know, the restaurant industry is a huge part of that. And grocery stores who throw away expired food, you know. And for me, I live alone, so I really try to be careful about how I shop. It's like, do I need to buy a week's worth of groceries? What if I don't get to it and something goes bad, you know? Then I've wasted my money, I've wasted time, I've wasted resources, I've disrespected the elementals. You know, Mother Earth has worked so hard to produce this thing that ended up in my compost. But at the very least, at least it ended up in my compost. So this, I'm so proud of this. This is a glass of dirt. And I don't know if it translates how rich this is. Can you see it's black? It's like coffee grounds.
Yeah.
And this is all food that I composted. It's so beautiful, you know? And it's like that didn't get expressed as methane gas in some freaking landfill, you know? It went back into the earth and it's going back into my garden. You know, and I know I'm not the only one doing this. I'm just cheering anyone on who is and saying, if you aren't, some people are like, well, I don't have a garden, or, you know, you can offer your compost to community gardens like Shams is doing in Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
You might have friends who are farmers or who have gardens who want it. There might be a local farm near you that wants it. Like, let's just start composting. You know, if you feel inspired and you haven't done it yet, I say go for it. Another thing that's really good for the soil is that if you have, say you have a fireplace and you're burning fires all winter long, and there's some wood that never gets turned into ashes, it's just like these chunks of charcoal. Go out, whether you have a garden or not, and anywhere you have soil that you can plant that charcoal in, do it, because it it really nourishes the soil. It helps it, hold on to water and not leach nutrients when rain happens or when runoff happens. I mean, it does a million things. What did I do with my phone? Let me read to you about that real quick. It's just quick. But that I asked somebody, I have a friend who's, I think, the most environmentally aware person I know. And I said, if you were going to suggest to many people one thing that they could do, two things, sorry, that's good for the environment, what would you suggest? And the two things were composting and what I'm telling you about right now. Even if, say you have a grill and you grilled some charcoal, you could put that into the soil. Charcoal has many direct benefits, greatly increasing soil fertility through its capacity to retain water and nutrients, improve soil fertility by reducing nutrient leaching, increasing above ground and below ground biomass growth and carbon storage, reduce release of nitrous oxide and methane from soil. So I say, if you got some charcoal you can offer to the earth you live on, do it.
There you go.
And
You want to take? Yeah.
You want to take a break?
No. We're just we're running. But yeah, do you want to take us through the meditation or
Yes.
finish up what you're doing? But let's go to the meditation.
Okay. No, I could say, it's cool. There's other stuff, but I think that some good points were made, and we don't need to go on and on with that. I love your mother. That's all. Okay. Guided meditation. If you feel like lying down, lie down. If you feel like sitting up, sit up. Want to close your eyes, close your eyes. If you want to keep them open, keep them open. Whatever you want to do that is most relaxing for you. And if you're not a guided meditation kind of gal or guy, then I don't know what to tell you. Take a little break and come back. Follow these words with your breath. Walk your attention down the pathway to the door of your heart. Take a breath. Remember your sacredness. Breathe again. Witness the way your aura shines. Notice the colors. See a bouquet of flowers in your hand. Breathe in the miraculous beauty of these flowers. Be still. The door opens. On the other side is your spirit standing next to your soul. So you've just walked through the door of your heart, right? Walk your attention down the pathway to the door of your heart. So the door opens. On the other side is your spirit standing next to your soul. Your spirit has a crown of stars it places on your head. Your soul holds a golden tray. On the tray is an opalescent container full of ambrosia. Next to it, a golden cup of saffron water. They lead you to a place to sit. It is the most luxurious and beautiful space you have ever seen. They invite you to sit down. Once seated, you feel more comfortable than you have ever felt before. The wall of your own heart cradles you, shaping exactly to your form. Your spirit places your exquisitely beautiful bouquet on the table in front of you. The table looks like the Milky Way, and the vase is made of rainbow light. The bouquet emits the most deeply relaxing scent you have ever smelled. It takes you beyond your senses to a place of empty and complete spaciousness. Your mind fades and your open awareness expands. You are weightless. What is left of you smiles. You sense you are seated in the core of the earth and simultaneously in the fulcrum of the infinite cosmos. You presence the two as one in the same. You feel deeply grounded and as vast as infinite space. You feel more present and grounded in your physical body than you have ever felt in your entire life. Something is different. You presence a difference. You feel your feet on a bed of moss. A gentle breeze floats through you and a light mist dances around you. When you open your eyes, you see the rainbow light and gold throughout. You feel your heart chair pulsating softly. You are in awe as you look around. Everything you see gives you a complete and utter feeling of awe, reverence, joy, and love. Your whole being swells with gratitude. Your spirit and soul look upon you with a smile that emits deep satisfaction. You are overcome by waves of wholeness. You feel completely integrated. You take a deep breath in and a long exhalation. You have never felt more relaxed in all your life. You feel simultaneously rooted and weightless. You hear your soul speak. Beloved one, let us partake of this sacred and exquisite ambrosia together. First, go deep within and set an intention, not with words, not with your mind, deeper than that. Your heart's desires are known. Set your intention to connect with them as you feel your heartbeat while cradled in your heart seat. Let the message come as it does. It may be a sensation, a feeling, an image, an inner knowing. The heart speaks many languages. However the message comes, be still, be open, breathe, expand, receive with trust and faith. The heart knows. Your soul passes you the opalescent bowl of ambrosia. You hold it in your hands. It is almost weightless, yet very tangible. You smell the beautiful smell of the ambrosia and feel the messages reaching deep inside your brain. You feel and see new neural pathways blossoming, as if watching a flower bloom in fast-forward motion. You understand these new pathways to be vessels that hold the messages and expressions of the desires for which you set your intentions. These are the fertile soils of your new garden. The seeds you plant in your heart sprout here. Take a deep breath. Feel your heart chair cradling you. Feel its gentle, nourishing pulsations. Feel your feet on the moss and the gentle breeze moving through you. Feel the light mist all around you, gently landing upon your face, your hands, your feet. See these neural pathways popping up like wildflowers in the meadow of your brain. See your brain smiling down at your heart in gratitude and your heart smiling back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. As you inhale, new pathways are born. As you exhale, new flowers bloom inside you. Now, take a sip of the honey texture ambrosia. Move it around in your mouth. Feel its texture. Note the taste. Spread the ambrosia on your palate back and forth, as if painting the roof of your mouth with your tongue. Dip your finger in the ambrosia and rub it on your lips. Lick it off and swallow it. Follow it all the way down as it slowly drips from your throat to your root, passing through your body and deep into the womb of the earth, where you are also sitting in a cave of moss that surrounds your body. Feel the moss everywhere as it touches your skin. Absorb its energies and frequencies as it alchemizes with your internal ambrosia slathered body. Swallow your saliva and bring it down to your root. Bring your awareness back to your body in your heart chair. Take a deep breath, followed by a long exhalation. See your breath filling the crystalline earth grid and simultaneously filling the vast expanse of the infinite cosmos. Ground this feeling in every cell of your body. Ground it in every fiber of your being and all the spaces in between. Take the golden goblet from the tray on the table in front of you and slowly sip the saffron water with gratitude and reverence. This water harmonizes your speech and enables you to speak into being the desires of your heart. It purifies your speech and cleanses your subtle body channels, bringing inspiration and a lightness of being. Feel this taking place. Now, slowly stand up from your heart chair and bow to your soul and spirit. Bow to the 4 directions of your heart. Continue to fully inhabit your body and ground the effortless intention to fully embody your physical presence. Be sure to drink plenty of water to allow these messages to flow and to flush out anything that is ready to leave. As much as possible, be silent until you feel the experience has fully anchored within you. May the miracle that you are see its fullest expression. You are home.
Did you write that yourself? That was nice.
I did. Yeah, it's one of those things where you don't really try to sit down and writing. I was lying in bed and it just came. It was a stream. It just streamed into me. And
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing everything else. I just got a message from Facebook. They're locking my account. So I'm going to sign off and see what that's all about.
Okay.
But yeah, this was great. I wasn't expecting all this, but yeah, there are a lot of gifts in this one. If you didn't see the whole thing, you might want to go back and watch the first parts of this and the middle parts of this. She had a lot to offer today. It's good seeing you. I hope to see you in the flesh. I don't know whenever the time comes to hit the road again, but I love you.
Yeah. And yeah, let's Soulogy Tribe get in the energy field and iron out whatever's happening for Todd. May it go smooth. May it be effortless.
Yeah, there is something to that. I'm not really sure what's happening. I'm not clear on it, but yeah. I mean, I ultimately I know the expansion's coming, and I'm not really sure how that works. I've got some thoughts, but I don't want to share them at the time. at this time.
Think
But
of some of Franco's teachings, and think of his experience when he went to the airport, and then he had to go home and sort himself out, and then he went back. Stuff like, take it kind of in that vein is what I'm hearing. Anyway.
Yeah, I get that. But I also know that there's, I mean, that's really my approach, period, for everything. But this involves so many different people, and there's so many components that are needed. So rather than discussing it like, in terms of material things and resources and all the stuff that you typically would, I'm sitting with it to try to apply it to a a multifaceted initiative. It's not just me. I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. So there's plenty of traction. There's plenty of, energetic resource. It's a massive vortex, massive. This I know, and there's evidence, physical, non-physical, but yeah, there's some pretty simple steps that could be taken. I've got some things in place, but this is where I'm at. So I've been thinking about publicizing it to some degree, different ways, but I just haven't resonated with anything I've come up with. So I'm just glad you mentioned it, so we can all set the intention. We'd love to make this thing what's been presented to me over the years, which is an infinite number of channels on a handheld, accessible site that's got a private server. We got that. We've got the maximum bandwidth. We got that. And it'll be uncensored, because it'll be private. But, to be able to realize that, and where everybody can just go plug in and build their own show, build their own channel, build their own social media profile. It'll be just like the Facebook and YouTube archives, where it's all done by the individual, just like our journeys are. So
I want to do that. I'm down. I'm sure hundreds of people, thousands of people are down.
Well, yeah, in full transparency, kind of a physical creation of what we are, my macro and micro. So yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. I brought it up to those triplets yesterday and or Sunday or yesterday, and same thing, just putting it out there, not really looking for the nuts and bolts, but looking for the intentions to drive the creation, the transformation. So I appreciate you saying that. I love you. I'm going to run and see what's going on with Facebook. Hopefully I won't get kicked off. If I do, I'll find a way to get back on.
Yeah. Okay.
Peace out, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks,
Julie
everyone.
from
Peace
Santa
out.
Fe. Oh yeah, they blocked me out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.